Where's the microphone? Is over here.
Another phone right there. I got no internet, dude. You got internet?
I'm up.
How come I got no internet? Traditional 43rd wedding anniversary gift.
Sail. That's not sail.
Sail!
Now, if you were any kind of guitar player, you'd be able to transition.
Fuck you!
You give us a sweet. Oh, my head's shiny.
I'm sweaty.
Well, it's hot outside today. I should probably get over to the page, huh?
Probably wouldn't hurt.
Alright. Hey, you know what?
Oh, it's 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. Hey!
It's right here.
It's over there now.
43! For
Look at that.
you and me.
That's not bad. That
No,
looks
it's
okay.
not that bad. It looks okay. It looks alright.
Well, next time we'll do a little more advanced planning.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, you know what? The microphone thing is not in.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
It's upstairs by the toaster.
Sure, the guy with the guitar.
In the case. It's still in the case. Well, that's good. All this crazy stuff has just been...
We're talking right now and there's no sound.
Just wait.
in.
Wait. Just wait. I can't hear you.
Oh, and then Tim knocks over the...
Sorry.
It's got... Hold on.
Oh, shit. Sorry.
Oh, this is good. This is
What
good.
did I hit?
Just hang on a second.
Ugh.
Wow.
Here, I'll get it.
My bad. Sorry.
Hold on one second.
Trying to be a part of the
Oh,
show.
we got audio now. Thanks for hanging in there. It's been a
We're gonna make
sketchy
these
2
camels
minutes.
reach the floor.
It's only been a minute.
Hey!
Sorry.
All right, now we're here.
All right.
Good God.
Well, you know, that's what we do. That's how we roll.
Very good. Very good. So, anyway, Jimmy, Sid, Feed the
Good
Dog,
evening.
Episode
Let's
43.
make sure the microphone is actually
Still working
on.
out the kinks. No, it's on.
Yep, it's on.
We got a link. So, yeah, so still working out the kinks.
So, hey, you know who passed this week?
Who?
Tina Turner.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sad stuff.
That's a big loss.
Huge loss.
Yeah.
Huge loss.
Tina Turner passed this week.
Oh,
Of natural causes. I mean, I'd have to find. Let me see how old she was.
Who runs Slaughter Town?
She was 70.
She was 83.
She was awesome.
She was 83.
83.
Died at age 83. Tina Turner.
Tina Turner. Tina Turner.
To you, Tina. How was your week?
My week has been it was a good week. It was a good week. Had some good things.
We had Broadfest this weekend.
Broadfest was this weekend. A lot of good bands. Went to a backyard.
Who was headlining at Broadfest this week?
Last night was Slaughter.
Ah.
Yeah, fly.
Sure.
Fly to the angel.
Slaughter.
Yeah, Slaughter.
Yeah.
Yeah. They
Cool.
sounded like a bunch of 70-year-old guys making music, man. It was
Yeah.
cool. It was cool. It was cool.
Okay.
So, what are you looking at, dude?
I'm looking at.
You're tripping me out.
I'm
man.
looking at the. I'm looking at the
It
shot.
looks great. The camera's different. We changed the camera today because We got some good stuff happening.
We got
you want to say it now?
we have our second guest this week because we do not want to downplay the role of Crafty Ethan.
Well, Crafty Ethan, I don't think is a guest. I think Crafty Ethan is kind of he's more of a character that shows up.
Yeah. Well, our mead will be ready next month
And that's because of Crafty Ethan.
because of Crafty Ethan.
So I don't think he's a guest. I think he's
He's like a
character.
like a reoccurring character on the
Here
show.
and there, yeah, man. Yeah, cameo appearances.
Okay. So we have our first official guest this
Yes,
week.
yes.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to call him in?
You want to call him in?
He's your neighbor.
He's my neighbor. And we were outside in the garage, the green room, my mistake, the green room. And came sauntering over. Ladies and gentlemen, Steve.
Steve. What is up? Get out of the way, Tim. The band is in the way of the guest.
The band is in the way of the guest.
Oh, choke point over here. Yeah.
So we got your, let's get your microphone turned on over here.
He's going.
Microphone.
And he's
Go
in.
ahead.
Everybody, Steve.
Steve, you'll find that we are well below the technological standards that you're used to.
I don't know if you heard one of my shows.
Well, you were here for ours with lights falling and Mike's not hooked up.
That was fun.
That was great.
So, why don't you tell us who you are, what you do, Steve, just so we know,
Yep.
so they all know who
Yeah.
you are.
Well, first of all, you lied to me. You said that nobody would see me in shorts. So
You can't really see.
The camera angle.
Oh,
no,
golly.
they can't.
No, you can't. It's just the bottom of the.
It's just-
All I see
bottom of
is
the
when
table.
I walked on, my agent will have a word with you. My name is Steve. I live in Madison, Wisconsin. I am a touring sound engineer for a couple of bands. Really started to take off in the last probably 2 years, and so I've been literally between today and January 26th. I've been in 19 different countries, and been a pretty crazy ride.
There's 19 countries?
He's been in at least 19.
Yeah.
I thought it was just like us,
I didn't know it was
Canada.
going to be a geography lesson.
I figured it was just like us, Canada, and Mexico.
Public school.
Really.
Yeah. In Hawaii, because we hear about it.
Us, Canada, Mexico, Hawaii,
Russia.
Europe. Then there's that whole.
It's all
that
one
whole,
big
That whole other
side of the planet.
U.S. Yeah.
I'm gonna guess this got knocked over in the
Yeah, so
fracas
I'd be
earlier.
careful.
Okay.
Go for it. Just go for it.
It already spewed everywhere.
Did it?
So, yeah. Oh, it's still spewing. We'll let it rest a little bit.
What are we drinking?
We're drinking. You want a mead? A quencher?
You want a quencher?
I'm not a mead guy.
It's not meat.
It's a quencher. It is honey.
I'm gonna highly recommend that you try these. Here,
Oh,
wait.
thanks, Tim.
I
Tell you
got
what.
cranberry right here. Look,
Tell you what. He's got the end of a bottle right here.
All right.
Why don't you give that
a holler and a
Yeah.
swaller.
yeah.
I already don't like the smell of it.
That's fair.
It's not bad.
We have a convert. We have a convert.
I'm a
Good
believer.
friends up in Iron River at White Winter Winery have good friends of the show have set us up with a few things. And if you want to be pessimistic and give it a shot, go to whitewinter.com. Promo code Feed the Dog. You get 15% off. So if you don't like it, at least you get to save 15%.
Yeah.
Well, I'm drinking the cranberry tonight. Which one are you on?
I got cherry right now, but I'm looking forward to finishing cherries and moving into the cranberry
It's tasty.
because it'll be a good time.
Yeah.
So you can't get this stuff down here.
No. Oh, really? Just
No.
crazy.
It's a
Unless
whole
you have a
like,
hookup.
yeah, unless you have a hookup.
Yeah.
It's a whole
Or a
distribu-
car.
It's a whole yeah.
And 12 hours of your day.
Oh yeah.
It's a whole distributor thing.
But we get them.
Yeah, that's nice.
It's
You like
kind
it?
of a reminiscent of a wine
You want
cooler.
a full one?
I'll drink this guy first, and then I'll see where I'm at.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So,
Steve, you spent a lot of time on the road,
Lately,
and come back. We meet in the driveway here and there. A few stories here. We kind of meet you only in between, like, oh, today I'm flying to Prague. So we've been trying to.
It's so pretentious. Like, who says that?
Pretentious.
Apparently me.
Today I'm flying to Prague with
Yeah.
Iron Maiden.
Yeah. So the cat's out of the bag. I will be doing shows with Iron Maiden at the end of
What?
September.
What?
Yeah.
I kind of pulled that out of my ass.
Oh yeah, no, I thought you knew.
You're actually
Oh,
doing shows
God.
with Iron
Hold
Maiden?
on,
Yeah.
wait a
What?
minute, wait,
No.
dude. This ain't no bullshit.
Yeah, Atreyu will be opening for Iron Maiden for a handful of shows at the end of September of this year. Mostly Canada, I think.
So you threw a spitball at the fucking wall and you.
I did. I just pulled a band out of my ass.
God.
And I was here to catch it and, do something with it.
Is now when you say Iron Maiden, are we talking about Ozzy being on the road with?
Is this
Uh,
cutting? Did we just
that's-
do this for the first time?
Well, no, it's been announced. It got announced last week, but it's Iron Maiden headlining. There is somebody in direct support, and Atreyu's the opener. So for those not familiar, I do sound for Atreyu, Story of the Year, and a couple of other bands. But Atreyu and Story of the Year are my two primary bands that I work with. So
And they're on the road with Iron Maiden.
they will be in September.
That's pretty fucking badass.
Wow.
Yep.
Now I've got a little roadie experience.
Yeah.
So what are you laughing at? I've been a roadie.
Yeah. Not no more.
No, not anymore. It's been a long time. But so I've met Lemmy. I met Lemmy Kilmister.
Yeah.
And let's see who else in it. They Might Be Giants.
Oh yeah.
That was a cool one. But it was cool, kind of cool to meet Lemmy Kilmister. I think he was saying hello, but I don't know. It's just white boots and Cocoa Puffs, really. But so now, was it Iron Maiden? Is it the original? Is it the lineup?
Bruce Dickinson.
The original lineup. Original Iron Maiden.
Well, the current touring band. So I really like it. Boy, I shouldn't have been allowed to eat on camera.
No, man, you gotta eat the Gardettos.
Go
Like
ahead,
Max does.
munch away.
Could you pick something more crunchy? Like
It's part of our thing, man.
It's gonna be like a dog on a microphone.
yeah, exactly.
Oh, what a good night.
But yeah, it's forgive me for not knowing everybody in Iron Maiden, but it's Brian McBain on drums, he's been the drummer forever. Bruce Dickinson on vocals, always been with Iron Maiden. Steve and I apologize, I can't remember the other guys' names, but as far as I know, it's the real Iron Maiden lineup, like the one that you would see.
Are we talking about Ozzy, or was there somebody else fronting for them?
No, Ozzy was with Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
But
Wait.
yeah,
Ozzy was a Black Sabbath.
Yeah, you're right.
yeah.
I said
He was
Iron-
right first.
Wait.
He seconded. I came in third, but we were right.
I'm sorry.
You were throwing me for a
No
loop.
disrespect there, Mr. Ongorn. Iron Maidens.
Mister.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's still pretty fucking cool.
Yeah. No.
That's awesome. Oh, F-bomb, swear jar.
One
All right.
of my favorite bands. So to be able to just even be in the same area as them is pretty crazy, and they won't be small venues, so that'll be even more cool.
Biggest venue you've been to in the country, in our country.
Kia Forum, Los Angeles.
How many people does Kia Forum hold?
I want to say 18,000 roughly, give
That's
or
a
take.
lot of people.
That's
Yeah.
a lot of people.
Yep, I was just on this last run. So Atreyu just finished up a U.S. headliner, and we did one show with a DJ by the name of Keizo. Atreyu did a collaborative song with Keizo, or two songs actually. And Keizo was doing a show at the Forum and had a bunch of DJs and then Atreyu on as a band. So
You know, I watch those DJs. They do like stadium shows.
yeah,
That's crazy
yeah,
to watch one guy
Get all these people lit up.
all these people lit up, and he's like,
yeah.
Sometimes they use two hands.
I understand I get the like
Give
the
you a
mass,
controller.
Yeah, I get like the mass hysteria kind of feel of it because all those people are there and they all have that energy going.
Yeah,
But I gotta say, I've also seen the back camera shots. I don't think those guys are doing anything. I think they just hit play, and then they
Well, they move things around, man.
jump around. I don't think it's hooked up to anything. I think, hey, look, I'm moving a fader back and forth.
Yeah, but it's taking out and bringing in.
It's a show. No, I get it.
Yeah.
It's a show. The lasers and lights and the 3D effects and all that stuff. I
With
get
a
it.
giant marshmallow.
It's a
on it.
giant
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
show.
Yeah, marshmallow.
So now you're on band with Atreyu. You're on the road with Atreyu now.
Yep.
But how long you been doing what you're doing?
Professionally, like making a career of it, only 4 years.
Okay.
But I started doing sound in high school. That's how I learned how to do sound. And
Right.
my first day of college, a guy that I used to play drums with in high school, he was 4 years older than me. He called me the day that I literally got to my dorm room. And he goes, hey, I heard you're going to school here. And I said, yeah, I am. I just got here like 2 hours ago. And he goes, cool, our band teacher tells me you know how to do sound. And I said, well, yeah, like for plays and stuff like that, jazz band. And he goes, awesome, we have a gig tonight at a bar. Can you do sound for us? And so that was me getting thrown into the fire. So that was 1990, to give you an idea how old I am. So, yeah.
27.
You're only
like the rest of
27. You got to be older than 27.
Jimmy, the score.
No.
One for Jimmy.
So you kind of live your life like in the scene.
Not really. I was an auto mechanic for a long time. I was an electrician for a while. I was a computer programmer and then a project manager. And I was a project manager up all the way until I started touring in 2019.
Right.
So-
but now you spend
Yeah, 100%.
100% of your career is on the road.
Yeah, yep.
I guess the question I'm going for is like,
I don't know.
when's the first time you were? Were you shooting for like I'm going to be part of the rock and roll world?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That was the goal.
Yeah, my
You
whole
weren't
life.
taking like anything like country music or jazz or whatever came at you.
I would have taken anything. Yeah. The genre didn't matter to me. I just wanted to tour. My whole life I wanted to tour. I just didn't know how to do it. I just assumed that when Metallica rolled into town, they used the venue sound guy.
Sure.
And so I was, in the back of my mind, I was trying to figure out how do I get to do sound at the Coliseum here in Madison, or like, how do I get to do sound at the Fiserv Forum, because then when Slayer rolls into town, or, Shania Twain or whoever, I could get to mix them. I had no idea.
And Shania Twain.
Both started with S.
That'd be great. That'd be a great show.
Going for
That
a
would be a
list.
hell of a show.
Yeah. So yeah, I just didn't have any idea. So in the way that I thought it would work was, well, I can't get jobs at these venues. I'll just start a production company, and then I have to be able to work with bands that I know. And so I started a small production company in Madison back in 2015, 2014, 2015.
What was the name of that production company?
608 Sound and Light.
Okay.
Area code and then Sound and Light.
Yeah, 608.
I'm not very inventive.
608.
But that rolls off 608. What
Yeah.
was the name of that?
608 Sound and Light.
608 Sound and Light. That
Yep.
rolls off. So
Sweet.
I get it.
And originally I wasn't going to have lights. I was just going to be 608 Sound. And I quickly found out that every bar band in Madison wanted lights more than they wanted sound. So
Because it makes up for the holes in the talent.
yeah, well, I worked with a lot of really good bands. I was really fortunate. But yeah, so I started that production company, and I still didn't get to mix Metallica or anybody like that. I was really bummed out.
Have you been able to work with, like, I don't know, I don't know how to put it, mainstream? Big names?
Well, Treyu is. I mean, the bands he's rolling with.
yeah.
Yeah. I haven't done Metallica or like, household name bands like that. Most people have heard of Atreyu, most people have heard of Story of the Year. And they're two different genres, more or less. But then I've worked with other bands that people know the names of too, but nothing that's like, my mom would know the name of the band. So
I guess what I'm going for is, like, was there a first time you got everything set up, you got everything cued, got everything set the way you want it, and you're in the venue that you're in the type of venue that you've been trying to get to.
Oh.
And you had that moment where you like stand back and go, oh my God, this is my fucking job.
Every day. I'm not exaggerating.
You remember the first one?
Yeah, it probably would have been the Sylvie in Madison here.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
What was the band? What was the lineup? Do you remember?
It was Steel Panther and Stitched Up Heart. I was working for a Stitched Up Heart female front.
Panther's awesome.
Oh,
They are good.
They're so fun. Those guys.
Oh, God, it's awesome.
They're amazing guys. Like, I'm not going to give away secrets, but they were like the nicest guys on the
Oh, I
planet.
bet.
So
They're
cool.
awesome. They're so good, too.
Yeah, and they're players, really good players. But yeah, I was standing at the Sylvie, and all my old coworkers were, standing behind me, and my girlfriend was there, and my lifelong friends were there, and I just was like, I can't believe this. Like, this is, literally a pinch me
Little
moment.
tingle action
Yeah.
on.
This
Maybe
is
a little
my
lower.
life. Sure, no, absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
is there a venue somewhere that you didn't know existed that was like blew your mind? You're like, I can't believe I didn't even know this place was here.
Oh, a lot of them.
What's the biggest venue you've ever worked?
Oh, golly. We did an all-arena tour with Motionless in White on the Trinity of Terror tour last fall. And some of those venues were 22,000 people venues. I'm looking forward to Iron Maiden because I think those are going to be stadiums. So that'll be by far the biggest.
Now, how much? So Iron Maiden, obviously, they're going to come with their own road crew and their own people.
Yeah.
Because Iron Maiden, I don't know if you've ever seen Iron Maiden live.
I haven't seen them
Oh,
live.
I have
Okay.
seen Iron Maiden live.
Yeah.
It is
Amazing.
Production.
ungodly. It
1870s.
is an ungodly production.
Yeah.
Inflatable eddies
Yeah.
that like 6-7 stories tall.
And you're
Yeah.
going to be in arenas where they're flying this shit.
Yeah. Like
So-
I said, I pinched myself. Sorry.
Yeah,
You know,
oh, absolutely.
The fact that I haven't roadied before makes me pliable. Some of these older guys,
Well,
you know.
I've rode it a little bit, and I worked for the Madison Stagehand Union,
Oh, yeah.
so I've
Yep.
covered the ice at the Kohl Center.
Yeah, but you're already
uncovered
like,
ice.
pliable guy like me. I'm probably more of a commodity.
Yeah. I've
Less
been in-
miles.
I've been in the catwalks of the Coliseum, all that kind of stuff. I don't know where I was going with that. Thanks for derailing me.
You said rail.
I had a direction.
Oh, you were asking about production?
Totally derailed. me.
Production. The size of the production of
Yeah.
18
Yeah, but
semis,
I still don't know.
15 buses of people.
Yeah. Are you constantly in awe of the magnitude of
Yeah.
the production that goes on, and
Yeah.
especially like a band like Iron Maiden. Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
it's going to be ridiculous. The Trinity of Terror tour that we were on, it was, like I said, it was all arenas, multiple semi-tour, multiple buses, and Trinity of Terror was carrying their own full production, like PA, video walls, lighting, everything like that. And the number was well into the 7 figures of what it cost to rent the equipment.
God.
Yeah, so like seeing that get built every day and like helping build things was insane.
How long does it take to set up the video wall, the whole smash?
Yeah.
Well, you haven't worked with them yet, so you don't know yet.
I don't know for Iron Maiden, but for Trinity, we would roll into the venue, the headliners would roll into the venue at about 7 a.m. They do what's called a walk-in chalk. So you're in this empty arena, and there's nothing on the floor, and the production manager will walk and with the rigger, and the rigger is the guys that hang all the motors and the ceiling and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they'll measure everything out. They'll mark the floors with chalk that tells like the guys that are up in the rafters how many chains they need to use and what they're going to be lifting and all that fun stuff. That usually takes about an hour, hour and a half. Then while that's going on, they're unloading the trucks. Long story long, they would have the stage ready to be making noise by 11:30 a.m. most days. So
And they roll in at what time?
7 a.m.
Yeah, that's all right.
And they got all that gear out, set up.
Yeah. You can do stuff
A lot of
quickly with a
dudes,
lot
man.
of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
ants.
There was always a dozen stagehands available, like loaders, pushers, guys, helping set up everything. Flying the PA, they always had a fairly big crew of guys. So I think on that one, the touring crew, not for our band or not for any of the bands individually, was 10 members that were from a company that their job was to fly everything and set it up and get it going.
They just flew stuff. They didn't do anything else.
Nope, they were like system engineers, video wall engineer. So they would work with local staff to get everything up in the air, and then they would do all the final calibrations.
You got to bring the union guys in to
Yep.
do the heavy lifting.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, and those guys are really the unsung heroes. Like, they make or break your entire day.
Yeah.
If they're really good, you're in and out so fast, and it's really smooth. And if they aren't the greatest, then it makes for a long day and a lot of rework.
And tear down is probably half the amount of time.
Usually they were out in under 2 hours, like most nights. So,
You remember when we got between the two of us, we have a little bit of experience.
I know what you're digging at now. Yeah, no,
I know I'm going.
Yeah.
So, I think we could be in and out.
With
And
trolley,
we were just-
with boom,
We were just doing video,
and we're
Yeah.
just going video.
and we could be out in less than an hour.
Pack
Yeah.
up the trolley, got a boom trolley, and we had six other cameras that either could be mobile or static,
We also had cases designed specifically for every
and everything was numbered.
position.
It was maddening. The cases were, it was mad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we built these giant wood and fiberglass cases,
yeah.
and each case there were like 2 static cameras, and we had one with a boom. We had a dolly, and each case was built specifically for that. And the 2 static cams, I ran one of those. I don't remember who was on the boom. Anyway, you drop the case on the side, and then you could set everything up on top of the case.
Yeah.
And the trailer, when everything came out, the trailer turned into the green room.
Oh,
with
nice.
AC.
It was pretty cool.
That's
It was
awesome.
a slick
There was a
move.
little
That's
bar
really
in there
smart.
and everything.
Yeah, that's smart.
It was a slick move. It was bigger than a fly pack, but smaller than the 18 semis you deal with. But
Yeah, we thought we were cool.
we weren't cool.
I'm still not cool.
We weren't cool. The shit you flick off the bottom of your shoe.
No, it's
So now you spend a lot of time on the road. How many countries have you been to lately?
Lately.
Let's say in the last. Let's see. It's what is it?
Hold
It's
up. How many countries have you been to?
June now.
Yeah.
It's June now.
Yep.
So in the last 6
It's not
months.
June yet.
Well, it's almost June. Are you going anywhere before June?
I only have festivals in June.
Okay.
Yep.
So let's just say June.
June.
In the last 6 months, how many countries have you been to?
So since January or since December, it would be 21.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's still okay. Yeah.
Pretty badass.
20, I don't even know if I can name
21 countries. I don't even know if I can name 21
Is
countries.
Europe one of them?
What's really maddening though is they rarely stamp your passport anymore. So like I thought, oh, my passport's going to be this awesome collage of like really
of
cool
stamps.
Yeah, and really only stamped when we went into Europe, coming out of Europe, and then like Indonesia, Australia, Japan, Philippines, Thailand, all stamped. But yeah, I was sort of disappointed by that.
They don't stamp your passport?
Yeah, it's all electronic.
Did anybody come and say, your papers?
I can totally see how that would be a bummer.
Yeah.
Because you got your passport and you want to have this like collection of
Yeah,
stamps.
no, that's something that, like,
so you
okay,
can
look,
like show it off.
Yeah.
You're like, look at all the places
anybody
I've
go on the
been.
internet and ask, and buy a sticker that says whatever country you were in, but getting it in
On your
passport.
passport.
is
Yeah.
that's a gas.
Passport
You
is
can even like request to be like, hey, can you stamp my
You
passport?
can, but most of the immigration systems are automated. So you just walk up, slide your passport on this scanner, you stand there, they take a picture of you, and then the gate opens and you walk in. So
They probably think, you've been here, you don't need a stamp.
Was there a
Hey, I know you.
was there
How
anything?
you doing?
Was there so? You start traveling internationally,
yep,
and you realize that now that this is your life.
yeah.
Was there a moment of letdown where you're like,
When he was in Italy, the pizza wasn't that good.
so what I'm saying is you're like, let's say
Hey, where are the baguettes?
let's say you're gonna be a porn star. Let's just say you're gonna be a porn star, and you're thinking to yourself before you become a porn star that you're like, you have this vision of Oompa Loompas and.
Because,
That was a metaphor, by the way. I wasn't talking about.
you got to think
What are you watching?
Wow. Not,
I'm gonna look at your browser history real quick here.
Clear now.
Yeah, we got to get out of here.
so you have this okay, no Oompa Loompas.
Thank
But
you.
you know what I mean. You have
Thank
this
you for
vision
retracting.
of the chocolate room and all of these magical things, and you're like, this is my life, and I'm going to be doing this, and I'm going to be meeting all of these people, and if you want to view paradise, simply. Was there?
Wow. Yeah.
Was there after like 2 or 3 days? Was there a moment of like, yeah, this is actually work too?
Yeah, I would say Indonesia was like that. Gorgeous country, super, super nice people, but it was just it was an interesting place to be in. That was most recent visit. We flew out there for a festival, and taking it full circle or back to where we were talking, like we landed at the airport, Indonesia, Jakarta, and our handler person was waiting for us like at the end of the jet bridge.
And this is somebody from Indonesia who's
Yep.
there to meet you and
Yep.
make sure that you get to where you need to be
Yep.
and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Okay.
So they're holding up a sign, with our band name and
Steve and the boys.
yeah, essentially. And I'm thinking to myself, holy cats, this guy bought a ticket to get into the airport because you can't just go to the gate, without a ticket anymore. And
Even in other countries.
not to my knowledge, not that I've seen.
So your handler in Indonesia
Yep.
had to buy a ticket.
That's what I thought.
Okay.
Maybe he came in a half hour
Wait,
earlier.
I feel more of a story coming on here.
So we're walking out of the gate area, and the first thing you have to do is go through immigration. That's where they stamp your passport, all that stuff.
Or not.
And there's a monster line of people in immigration because there were all sorts of bands flying in for this festival. 60-some thousand people at this festival, and so we see this long line, and our hearts sink because we've been flying for 37 hours. We've been up,
Their arms are tired. Hey! Rim shot,
Tim,
please!
you have a rim shot on that thing? No.
I'm not listening.
So we see this long line, and we just sort of sink, and the handler goes, stay close to me, and he walks around this huge queue of people, and there's a guard, and the guard starts waving his hands and directing us to go back to the line. The guy peels off a couple of bucks, hands it to the guard, straight through. So then we get our luggage. We flew with 29 pieces of equipment, and we get all of our luggage gathered up. We've got all these carts, and we're pushing all the luggage out the door, and the handler says, stay close to me. We know that means he's going to pay somebody off again. And so we get up to the exit, and the
Because
guy...
after the first time you get it.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious. So then the guard is there, and he goes, no, you've got to go through customs and blah, blah, blah. And the guy peels off a couple more bucks, hands it to him, straight out. And so I'm a little bit nervous because I was tour managing and doing sound. And so I'm responsible for all of our passports, an equipment carnet. And that is just a piece of paper that they use to inventory what you came in and out of the country with, so you don't sell something or buy something and not pay taxes. And so I asked our handler, I'm like, what about our passports and what about our carnet? And he goes, give them to me, I'll get them back to you in the morning. And I was a little nervous.
You're in Indonesia right now. So you're a hot bath away from losing a kidney right now.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm a little nervous about handing this guy
I would too.
all of our passports and our carnet, but I handed it to him. We go to the hotel. Hotel is super lovely, and he shows up the next morning and hands us all of our stuff, all stamped, processed perfectly. And I'm like, that's a trick. I don't know how you quite did that, but now I also know how you got to the gate without, paying for a ticket.
Yeah.
But yeah, Indonesia was a crazy country. They drive on the left side of the road.
Like England?
Yeah, like England. And for every one car that was on the road, which it was a bumper-to-bumper traffic jam, there were 100 scooters.
Mopeds and scooters? Yeah, man.
With full families on them, like the dad driving, baby in his lap, mom on the back holding a kid under her arm, holding a bucket.
Holding a bucket.
Oh my gosh, I don't know what they were doing with the buckets, but it was just
Pale lunch.
we called that if we saw the 4 people on a scooter, that was a 4-pack, and if they had the bucket, that was a biscuit. So we were just calling out, 4-pack and a biscuit the whole time.
Got a 4-pack and a biscuit coming down the way.
And they literally did not there is no level of trust higher than the person riding on the back of that scooter, because they brushed death like
I don't
every
know.
single.
I think maybe the kid in between mom and dad
True.
maybe has. Now maybe they don't realize that there's a trust level there, but
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
to be squeezed in between. I know what you're talking about too. I've seen it.
Yeah.
Where mom and dad's driving, mom's like holding on and squeezing.
She's
the
holding
kid.
on because she's got a kid in the middle and she's holding on to a kid.
Squeezing, and you don't even see the kid.
Yeah.
If you see a picture, you don't even see the kid. Just maybe
Kid's
like
got a straw
maybe like a hand sticking out.
Kid's got a straw so he can breathe.
My girlfriend's been to India, and she said that as bad as Indonesia was, like in terms of scooters to people, she said it was way worse in India.
Have you not been to India?
Not yet. No.
Jesus
What a
Christ!
lightweight, man.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
I'll show myself
Never been
out.
to India.
Thanks. Sorry, guys.
What's so what's the name of this? What's the name of this tour you're headed out on now?
So I'll be going out with Story of the Year and a band called Yellow Card, and so it's like a. I think there are 4 or 5 bands on the ticket, but I just know mine and Yellow Card.
Sure. And this is in the U.S.
Yep, amphitheater. So that'll start July 1st. We have a couple of like weekend festival shows. Like next weekend, I'll be in Dallas, Texas for a festival, and then the weekend after that, I'll be in Kansas City for a festival. But then we go out like July 1st, and it's all amphitheaters and pretty good sized venues.
Wow.
And I go through
Pretty good
mid-August.
jump from Texas to Kansas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. Ever have any power issues?
No.
Like they got the prongs, so you guys bring all your own power.
Yeah, and the nice thing is like today's equipment is most of it is universal voltage. So it will work on 90 volts to 240 volts.
Oh, you mean in other countries?
Yeah.
Come on, man, show up. Welcome back.
Yeah.
Welcome back. Hey! So, all right. And a guy like me, one of the things I worry about is the food.
Oh, yeah.
Catering. Call it catering, correct?
Yeah.
Is it food local to where you were indigenous? Would that be the right word?
I would
guess, yeah.
I would say indigenous.
Food indigenous to where you are, or they bring burgers with them?
It was a mix of both. Like in Europe, it was a lot of more traditional food for the region or area.
Fish and chips and schnitzels and
Yep. Oh, yeah, a lot of schnitzel.
a lot of schnitzel.
Yeah. We were in Germany 6 times on one tour, and it was a lot of schnitzel. But then also a lot of places would be like, oh, we've got American
dick jokes coming in right now.
I was stopping myself as well.
So much schnitzel.
We have less than 200 followers, so if you want to throw dick jokes out,
Yeah, man,
you ain't offending
We're
anybody.
pretty cool, man.
The guys in a tree.
Our scores of fans,
The guys in a Treyu are probably laughing right now because there's a lot of schnitzel jokes with the Treyus. So,
Schnitzel and streusel.
yeah. What Blazing Saddles? Honey, please, I draw the line at. I can't remember what he said.
No, yes, wait, let
Yeah.
me, because I'm an expert at this, because
yes, he is.
because I have no life.
True story.
Would you like another Schnitzengruben? Baby, please. 7 is my limit on Schnitzengruben.
I am not from Havana.
No, shit,
Do you know, since you brought up Blazing Saddles, do you know Richard
No,
Pryor?
he didn't.
He did, just now.
Close reference. You
I don't
Did you know-
recall.
Guilty.
Did you know Richard Pryor was originally going to be, well, Richard Pryor was one of the writers,
Oh, really?
Good boy.
and originally Mel Brooks wanted him to play Bart.
Oh, okay. Yep.
And one of the, I don't know why the line got cut because it's fucking hilarious. But you know, in that scene with Lily Von Stupp and Sheriff Bart in the dark, and she says, "Tell me, Shotzi, is it true what they say about how you people are gifted?" Right? The line after that, after she says it's true, the line that Richard Pryor wrote for that.
It's true.
The line that Richard Pryor wrote for that was, "Baby, you sucking on my elbow." I shit you not. I'm not kidding.
Could be true.
It's true. It's true. Mel Brooks said it.
It's true. It's
That
true.
was the line.
It's true.
But yeah,
Oh, really? It's true.
that was the original line was, "Baby, you sucking on my elbow." So think about it.
Ooh, a little
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
nicely done.
That's what it does.
Can we
That's
just
our-
say
that's
Tim
our
is
band.
amazing on guitar? Like,
Yes, let's
he's
give it up for the band.
killing it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Tim, why don't you
The
pop in here
band.
real quick and let them see your beautiful
I'm
mug.
gonna knock over something.
No, don't knock over nothing. Go a long way. Just say hi.
Oh, more. More.
There he is. No, it's delayed.
It's delayed.
There we go. That's a good joke.
Gotta wait for the delay.
I'm gonna be sitting there standing looking like an idiot, just holding my hand.
Digging for gold.
Yeah, Tim's the band. He's,
Yeah.
he's our musical accompaniment.
Really good.
Thank you.
I'm enjoying it.
Well, maybe we do some number swaps. Maybe you need a little. Maybe somebody needs a player.
Sit in, yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying we do a little networking. I am management for the young man.
Perfect.
And I get a stipend.
Stipend.
Handler and manager.
Yeah. Leo gets.
Anything you want, Leo gets. It's an icebreaker. I use it at parties. So has
I want to hear more about the food.
Oh, food.
the food.
I want to hear more about the food.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Generally really good.
Do they have Gardettos?
They did not.
That would be a shame.
It's the little stuff like that that really got to me. Like especially in Europe, like European breakfasts are not traditional American breakfasts. A lot of cold cuts, and so you roll out of bed and you're like, oh man, I just want some scrambled eggs and some bacon.
I get a sandwich.
And instead you get a lot of cold cuts, and their bacon is always Canadian bacon. It's not like American.
It's not real bacon.
Yeah.
Do they call it cold cuts?
No, it is like a charcuterie breakfast typically.
A charcuterie board could be. I mean,
Yeah, I know.
the novelty will wear off, but
Yeah.
it could be cool the first, 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
As long as they could change it up, like a little this.
So the
that.
bacon comes from the back of the pig, not the side. That's,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I get it.
Whatever.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Well, Canadian bacon is back bacon. It comes from
Yeah.
the back of the pig.
Yeah.
Not the.
Because he's up north and his belly is
That's
just
sad.
it's shaved right off from the snow.
I'm just saying.
I know. I did my homework.
All right.
But we went to when we were in Milan, Italy, after the show.
How was the pizza?
It was awesome. The tour manager.
So let me ask you a question. Go ahead, you tour manager thing. I'm sorry. I get excited about
We're gonna have a pizza issue here in a moment, but go ahead. Tour manager.
Tour
That's the
manager,
subject.
tour manager, myself, and another guy went out for pizza afterwards, and we got to this little restaurant, and it was the size of this table, like seats like 8 people at the most, and father cooking pizza, 83 years old, has worked there since he was 14.
Knows every nook and cranny.
That's a
Yeah.
good fucking pizza right
Yeah.
there, man.
And he was this great little guy, spoke a little bit of English, not a lot. And then his son was like assisting him in the kitchen, and their grandson was the guy that took care of us, the waiter. And that pizza was really, really good. It was really simple, but really good.
See, that's the best pizza. The simple ones.
Some pretty good fucking pizza right there.
People may think I'm gonna get a little angry
Didn't mean to start a
about the
feud.
pizza. About the pizza.
We got a pizza thing.
I'm not. Oh, what are you?
Oh shit, we weren't live.
This is an educational experience for me.
By the way, that's
No.
on.
I pick on Chicago pizza versus New York. I got my standards with pizza.
Yep.
It's not that I don't like it.
We both agree though that Detroit style pizza total
Shit.
garbage.
Garbage.
Oh. Justin, if you're watching,
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Justin.
Is Justin from Detroit?
Justin is a Detroit pizza aficionado.
Oh,
sorry, Justin.
And when we were in the UK, one of the best pizzas we had was a Detroit style pizza.
Well, maybe because you were in the UK
Yeah.
and everything else was probably not what you're used to.
Their food actually, it gets a bad rap, but their food was really good. And their pastries are divine. Like I'm sort of a sweets guy, but not really. But man, they know their way around a dessert.
Nice.
There you go.
Nice.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Anyway, thank you. Thank you. Justin, sorry, not sorry. But if I meet you, we'll have some pizza. But this I want as an educational thing because to me, I think pizza, the simpler the better.
Yep.
It's utilitarian. It's meant to put 2 slices, then fold them, walk, eat, and have a good time. How was the pizza there? You didn't have to sit with a bib and a fork and a knife.
It was Neapolitan style, so they had the wood-fired oven. They throw it in for 90 seconds.
Slab and what's it else?
The one I just had margarita, so it was just basil, tomato, mozzarella.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Mostly too because their pepperoni isn't like U.S. pepperoni either.
No, no
probably nowhere
pepperoni
near-
is like
Yeah.
Yes, too
even
greasy
you.
here.
I gotta say, U.S. pepperoni. I never buy U.S. pepperoni.
Too
Really?
greasy.
I always go for a little salami picante.
I can see that.
The old saloon.
Yeah, a little salami picante instead of the pepperoni. I like to get my own sausage.
Hold on.
I don't know where I'm going with this. I like to get my own sausage.
Hold on.
Little
You know what you
meatballs.
say? You know what you say this in?
What's that?
Say this in that Scottish accent.
They don't make pizza in Scotland.
But say it in the Scottish.
Ah, for Christ's sake, we like to take the pepperoni, the salami picante, we throw it on. We don't use the salami pepperoni. And then we make our own little sausage balls and we throw them on there like that. And then I throw all that cheese on. I like to use you gotta use.
You broke.
I'm broke. I'm sorry. I'm just saying. If you're gonna make a pizza, you gotta use. You gotta go with the pepperoni. You gotta go with the mutts in the slabs. You can't use the fucking none of that grated shit. Gotta use the pepperoni, the mutts and slabs. Goes on there, melts out nice. Little tomato, little garlic, little basil.
You ever had diced pepperoni?
Insane.
It's funny when you did the Scottish accent. When we were in Australia, we did Knotfest Australia,
There was
and
Scots there.
well, our taxi driver was a Scottish guy.
Did you wear a kilt?
No, but he'd lived there like 19 or 20 years. And our guitar tech and I were riding out to a koala sanctuary. So we wanted to go see koalas and pet them and kangaroos and stuff. And we're driving and our guitar tech goes, your accent is not Australian. And I go, is it South Dallas? And he's like,
Pulls up his bagpipe and says, "Welcome to London,
and he goes,
Everybody that's here, run away.
Would you like some Vegemite, laddie?"
He's like watching in the States.
and he goes, no, it's Scottish, and he says it in his accent, and we're like, oh yeah, your accent's very light, and he goes, the Scottish accent, I say it's like a STD. Nobody wants it, and it's impossible to get rid of. That cracked us up. We were
So you're
I'm
okay.
gonna use that.
So now that actually does bring up a question that I would have for somebody who has the opportunity to travel the world. I'm not a world traveler. I spent a lot of time on the road, driving truck, so on and so forth.
yeah.
So do you have to? You travel to all these countries. Do you have a little bit of time here and there to actually go and be like, I saw a little bit of
Yeah, you just said you went to the fucking koala
the koala thing, but
Australia.
Australia.
Balls and want those pretzels.
Yeah, go for it. I'm not really eating them,
There
so
you go.
Oh, you never really eat them?
Yeah.
Well, here. Just
Do
take
you-
these
do
they're too loud.
in case you change your mind.
Do you have
I'll eat the
opportunities?
pretzels.
He eats
All
all
that's
the
left is all the crap.
He eats all the fucking pretzels.
There's not a rye crisp or anything in there.
Well,
Well,
I eat the right.
Oh, okay, all right.
And they go to Max.
But then there's like the little bread loaves.
Yeah,
Look at this
The
spread
French-
on top and
the
everything.
French breads. But yeah, to answer your question, it really depends on the way the tour is routed.
Yeah.
So like in Europe, we were there 7.5 weeks, and it was like 2 or 3 shows on, and then 2 or 3 days off, and then 2 or 3 shows on. So we had a lot of time.
In the same or between venues.
What we would usually do, European driving laws are really strict compared to like the United States. So the bus drivers in Europe are really held to a very rigorous,
Like 10 hours on, 5
yeah. And then every 6 days they have to take 48 hours off without being in the
Oh,
bus
wow.
or doing anything.
Really?
Yep. So where in the U.S. you can drive 11 hours per day, but there's no like hard cut after a certain number of days.
Right.
They rotate drivers just to make, but then
Yeah.
you got it stuck for 2 days.
They would
You leave him behind and pick up another
sometimes they would leapfrog. Sometimes he would just sleep in the bus and not.
one? It is what it
Yeah.
is.
Yep.
That's fair. I think that's
So
fair.
you get time. So like if
Yeah.
you're in Italy, you're in Rome, you're
Yeah.
like, hey, we got a couple days that we can't do anything.
Yep.
We're kind of fucked.
Yep.
Let's go see the Coliseum.
We had a number of days in Spain, a number of days in Croatia and places like that. So it was
Croatia.
Yeah, Croatia was really strange because we were inland Croatia. We weren't on the coast, and so it was more like being in Saginaw, Michigan. You know, it was like
Really?
yeah, it was. I kept
Little Caesar's pizzerias everywhere.
I was expecting, you know, like the coastline with all the super colorful houses and like the picturesque water and
Yeah.
stuff. And it was just like being in any suburban, you know, Midwestern city.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That is surprising. I've not had a lot of opportunities to travel the globe, but I am surprised. The similarities do surprise
Because
me.
he's a flatlander.
Yeah.
So, but you guys typically do things as a band.
yeah, most of the time.
You guys get rushed?
It depends on where you're at and who it is. Like when we were in Indonesia with Story of the Year, driving to the hotel, they asked if we wanted to use the private elevator. Oh no, this was in Thailand, and we're like, private elevator, please. Like none of the bands take themselves that seriously. They're all like super down to earth, the most normal guys that just they don't think anything of it. And so we laughed off the offer of having a private elevator, and we got there and there was 300 people waiting for like autographs, and the guys are so nice, they signed everything, 300 pictures. So yeah,
That's pretty
Seriously,
cool.
sincerely,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
yeah, I'm so fortunate to work with the bands that I work with because they're all just like family, like truly
Sit down,
family.
fella. I got one for you. Look at that.
Max.
That's where the Rye Crisps go.
Yeah, he deserves them. I'm okay with that. So long as it wasn't you eating them.
I eat the pretzels.
All right. I don't like the pretzels, so you can have
See
it.
that? It's a win.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
Well, awesome.
I got one more quick Scottish story for you.
Yes, absolutely. Is it from Scotland or is it from your Scottish driver in Australia?
It's a Scottish driver, but in the United States.
Oh.
Get in the fucking cab, you daft bastard!
So, very first tour I'm on, I was just doing sound. I wasn't doing tour managing or anything like that. And I'd only been to Australia. I used to live in Australia like 20 some years ago. And I'd never been to Canada, never been to Mexico. So we're crossing back and forth between Canada and the United States. And we were in a motorhome, RV. And the RV was okay, but not the greatest, primarily because I didn't have a bed. So I would either sleep like in the passenger seat while we were driving,
Or on
like
the floor in the back somewhere.
or on the couch or something like that. And so we're crossing into Canada, and we're way north. This is a December tour, so it's cold as balls.
Balls.
Yeah.
Christ almighty, my fucking balls are freezing off over here.
And our RV, the Blackwater tank, which is when you pee, all the pee goes in the Blackwater tank. And
You don't do the other thing in the RV.
Nope, or a bus. But so
Or a bus.
we had used the bathroom so much, and everything was frozen and closed, so we couldn't empty out the tank in the RV. And so we're driving around with this RV just full of pee. And like every
Chunk of frozen piss.
well, it wasn't frozen because they have a heater in the tank, so it was still liquid. I wish it had frozen because every time we would start, stop, corner, pee would splash out of the toilet, and so we had a rule like no using the toilet until we can find a place to empty this out. Well, one of the people in the band didn't like using truck stop bathrooms, so they would continue to use the bathroom. So now like it's rank in there and it's really smelling bad. And our driver is a guy by the name of Alan, nicest guy on the planet. He's from Scotland his whole life, moved to the United States, became a US citizen, and at the time he was living in Boise, Idaho. And so we get up to the Canadian border, it's like 4:30 in the morning, and one thing you're doing if you're the driver of a bus or an RV on tour, you have to have everybody's passports with you so that when you get to the border, the first thing you just hand them this stack of passports.
Sure.
And the agent will ask how many people in your vehicle. Oh, there's 9 of us. Here's the 9 passports. And 7 times out of 10, they'll just let you go through. You don't have to get checked or inspected or anything like that. So he pulls up and realizes that he doesn't have the passports. It was a late night. We got a late start. Everybody went to bed. Didn't give him their passports. And so we get up to the border checkpoint, and I hear Alan go, "Oh shit." And except in a Scottish accent, you know.
Oh, shite.
Yeah.
Christ is a fucking, we gotta cross a fucking border and don't have nobody's passport.
Yep. So I'm laying like with one eye open on the couch, like sort of looking because I can see what's going on. And the border agent says, "How many people on the vehicle?" And Alan goes, "I'm going to slaughter this accent." He goes, "Oh, there'll be 7 of us." And he's like, "Okay, passports." And he's like, "Oh, see, I'm driving a rock band, and we've had a show last night, and I don't have the passports, and I'm afraid everyone's asleep, and I should have had them." And I'm sorry, Alan, for butchering your accent. But the border agent's like, "Okay, well, do you have your passport?" And he's like, "Oh, I sure do." And he hands him his passport and he goes, "Where are you from?" And he goes, "Oh, I'm from Boise, Idaho." And the border agent looks at him and he goes, "Why don't you just pull it over?" So we pull over. It's like 4:30 in the morning. And border agents are not normally the most fun-loving people.
No,
but at 4:30 in the morning with a Scottish driver with a Boise, United States a passport, they weren't having any of it. So they pull us all off the bus. We're there for hours. They're like interrogating us like crazy. They're finding stuff like somebody shoplifted when in 5th grade, you know, and they're like, "Have you ever been arrested?" And they're like, "No, never." And they're like, "What happened when you were, 11 years old?" And they're like, "Oh my goodness, like that. A, I was a kid. B, blah, 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 blah." So eventually they go, they come over and they're like, "Who has the keys for the motorhome?" And Alan goes, "Well, I've got the keys." And they're like, "All right, we're going to go on board. We're going to take everything out and search your RV.
Oh, jeez.
And Alan goes, "Oh, I wouldn't be doing that if I were you." And they're like, "Why not?" And he goes, "Oh, because it smells like righteous piss on board." So the agent's like, "We've seen it all, buddy." So Alan hands him the key, and we watch these 2 guys like trudge out through the snow to this RV. And they unlock the door, and the guy like puts on his blue inspection gloves, and he pulls the door open. He takes 1 step up, and he goes, you just see his head like kick back. And he sort of like stumbles a little bit, and he turns around, he closes the door, takes the gloves off, comes
This is
in.
good.
There's nothing in there.
He comes back and he goes, "Get the hell out of here." So part 2 of the story.
Oh, so wait, there's more.
So now it's like 9 o'clock in the morning, and we've determined we've got to do something with this RV because like we just can't handle it anymore.
Sloshing around quite a bit.
And so I start looking around, and I'm like, I'll bet a place that sells and services RVs will have a dump station open. So I find this place. It's in like northeastern Canada. We were like crossing over by Maine and Vermont. And I find this place, and I call them, and I'm like, "Are you guys open?" And this most Canadian, nicest woman on the planet goes, "Yeah, we're open." I'm like, "Awesome. We are like 60 miles away. We're going to swing by. We have a RV that the tank is full. we need to dump our black water. Is your black water system, are you able to accept wastewater? And she's like, oh yeah, we can do that. I'm like, perfect. And she goes, but I gotta tell you, it's $12. And I was like, it could be $1,200. Like we will
I
pay.
gotta tell you, it's $12.
And she goes, well, a lot of people get upset, that it's $12. And I'm like, take
$12 American?
Canadian. But they took cards, thankfully, but we tried to give them American cash and they didn't want American
don't want
cash.
American cash,
They were like,
no.
here's $20, like, thank you.
Can you imagine being in a place where somebody goes to hand you cash? You're like, no, I don't want that.
Yeah,
American.
yeah.
You go shopping in other countries.
Sometimes.
Grocery store.
Oh, what a trip.
Really?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I've been doing this. I've been going to grocery stores. I've been going shopping. The divider, I've been putting it horizontal. So if the table is the belt, you put
Yeah.
the stuff on here and it goes up. By
That was
the way,
a brilliant segue, by the way.
thank you very much. Guess who did this table?
You?
This is
Man,
done
you're just all over the place.
We're trying to squeeze everybody in.
This is done by Russell.
Oh, really?
Picture Perfect Painting.
Wow. It's not an old bowling alley. It's just two.
No, it's
2x4.
It's
Yeah.
a whole bunch of 2x4s
Yeah.
that I borrowed from work, and we screwed
Thanks for
together.
returning this, by the way.
Next week or week after, we haven't figured out.
Yeah, I like the flame and the urethane on top
burnt
too.
it.
Yeah, it's
burnt it with
nice.
a-
Burnt or burned?
It's really cool.
Burned. Burned.
Burned.
We burned it. Burned it.
It has been burnt.
It's been burnt. So anyway, I've been doing this social experiment that has caused me some personal pain, but I've been able to bring back data. Okay, so I've been putting the divider
The little stick thing.
Parallel.
stick thing. Is it parallel?
Yeah, it'd be parallel.
I
as well.
haven't Googled it, but he
Yeah.
said that. I'm
It'd be
like,
parallel to
Yeah.
the belt.
okay, so I've been putting it this way with
Rather
the
than
belt.
perpendicular.
Perpendicular.
Yeah.
See?
Parallel.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
You
saying.
didn't say perpendicular.
I did say. I'm sure I said perpendicular on more than one. But anyway,
Anyway,
I just wanted to say dick. Killer.
so I've been putting my belt, my divider parallel
Yeah.
with the belt to see how people would react.
I'd probably choke you.
Would you really?
No, I'm joking.
No, seriously. If somebody was to do that, what would you do? How would you feel about that? Would you? I don't want to give you examples. What would you do?
I don't think it's a big deal because unless you're a complete psychopath animal, you don't butt your stuff up right against the divider. There's some cushion there
3
usually.
inches.
Yeah.
Give me 3 inches.
Yeah.
but you know,
Oh,
on
so many
that,
jokes
I
on
always
that.
put my boxes, like crackers, cereal, that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. I put them up first,
It's me too.
and they would have to go
Right up against
tight
the
to
line.
divider.
Well, I try to keep like the meats with the meats,
So-
the delicates with the
Yeah.
delicate, But the data that I've come back with was last week when I did this. I had to wait for the young man in front of me to get his stuff through before I could put mine on. When I put my thing on, the divider, there was two elderly ladies on the opposite side of me.
Oh,
Okay?
Yeah.
And they didn't have room to put their stuff. So it's here, the belt ends,
yep.
the two old ladies nestled their stuff elderly ladies, I'm sorry, nestled their stuff into one corner together. But they were two separate people. And instead of saying something, as you pointed out, because I felt horrible. I want to be clear. I felt bad, but I had to go through
It's the
with
name
it.
of science.
It's all new science. I just wanted to see what would, and nothing happened.
That's the
And as
Wisconsin
he
knife.
said, they put themselves through. What'd you call it exactly? It was like they brought pain upon themselves.
Oh, self-inflicted.
So instead of just saying, "Hey, you little whippersnapper, turn the thing," or even just taking control and doing it yourself.
Oh, well, I think that's a line that most people would not cross, which is moving your barrier. Oh,
I had a fellow do
wait,
that.
really?
Yes,
Interesting.
an elderly gentleman,
That tracks.
and he just
like
grabbed it.
Boomer or Gen X. Boomer. Because technically,
I'm elderly.
We are technically we're all
we could be elderly.
Don't misunderstand. Behind these beautiful locks on my mug, I'm an old man. I'm a real old man.
Young at heart, though.
Young at heart. Young at heart. So, Boomer grabbed a stick and I said, "Hey, young man," because I'm trying to defuse the situation. Not for nothing, and I'm not trying to cause a problem. And please don't. I put out all these disclaimers because I'm really
What grocery
not,
store?
This was actually at a large alcoholic beverage distributor
That also sells groceries?
off of Gammon Road.
Okay, I know which one you're talking about.
He physically moved it, and when I asked him why, he simply said, "Because that's the way I was taught."
I love it. I love it. That is a great answer.
I thought it was amazing. So, and I'm still going through with this. So I did it again this week, and again this week.
So do they use grocery dividers in Germany?
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. And
I was trying to tie it all together.
the cashiers are seated 9 times out of 10.
Oh, really?
Yep. And
Barefoot?
that I don't know, but do not.
Is there a back to the store?
I believe so. Yeah.
All about the details.
Yeah. And do not try to pay cash for anything in Germany. It's
Really?
It's all contactless.
Germany specifically?
That was my experience.
Well, that's
Same
the
with
way
you,
we're
Ken.
headed.
I love it.
Very soon you will not be able to purchase anything unless you have your papers.
It's so nice. Like you just
No ticket.
tap to pay on your phone is the greatest. Like
Yes, we are heading for the cashless society.
I never took my wallet out.
And then
Europe.
they will be able to shut you off when you say something that they do not like.
Where's your tinfoil? Let me.
Hey man,
We're going to dad jokes now? Hang on, I gotta bring up
just
the
getting ready.
stone. I gotta bring up the stone. Or the we also do this thing where we do
I am not in favor of a cashless society.
I am not in favor of cashless society.
Noted.
Because I like to, as my good friend Steve Martin said in My Blue Heaven, I tip everybody.
It is difficult to tip in a.
Actually, it's not tipping I believe in, it's over tipping.
You guys keep talking while I
Your
read it.
hand has got to be ready to fall off.
Yeah, isn't he great, man?
Yeah.
The whole time, man.
Just
Keep
non-stop.
fucking playing, dude.
Yeah. And they're all like recognizable songs, which is awesome.
He hasn't played Sail all night though.
Yeah, I
was
did.
gonna say the
Yeah, I
same
did.
thing.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I
did?
did. You'll hear it in there.
That's usually his go-to. He plays.
It was in there. It was in there.
Dude, the traditional 43rd wedding
Oh
anniversary.
yeah, 43rd wedding anniversary. Because
Yeah.
this is show 43. You know you didn't hit the clacker tonight.
Yeah, I did.
We never started the show.
I completely cracked it. But because we didn't have the microphone hooked up. They don't know how hard our scores.
We're
We
not
have
professionals.
scores. You know how big a score is?
40 years ago. I don't.
7 years ago. Actually,
7?
4 scored 7.
7 years ago. Oh, it's
But a
40
score
years.
is 20. So
Okay, so 87 years ago.
87 years.
That would make sense because 1776 to the Civil War. Yep.
See that? That's what I'm saying.
Smart man.
Deduction.
And well traveled.
Uh-huh.
Now
Well traveled. Would you come back?
to where?
Feed the dog?
Oh, yeah, sure.
You would?
If I
I
have,
want some Iron Maiden stories. The next time you come
yeah,
back.
we'll do that after the.
Yeah,
tour.
okay, so when do you leave?
Well, the Iron Maiden one is like, I think we start that tour mid to late August, and I think we're with them at end of September. So,
You know, those guys are probably, those guys are so old, they're probably backstage like sipping tea and crap.
oh, they take good care of themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, oxygen bar.
Yeah.
We had that.
I would go by party me in a hotel.
We had that on this last tour, Oxygen Bar.
Did you really?
Yeah, we were.
How was it?
I didn't try it, but our Brandon, the lead singer, he was playing drums for the last couple of shows also, and we had oxygen, and 'cause we're at like 8,500 feet altitude, so
you know,
singing and playing drums, it's like that's a lot.
I love the scene in, the fuck was the name of that movie with Mark Wahlberg? Come on.
Dragon, Steel Dragon.
Rockstar.
Oh yeah.
The band
And
was Steel Dragon.
The dude is backstage, like getting his blood changed out.
I never saw it.
it's a Mark Wahlberg movie. It's set in the 80s. And
Yeah.
The band was called Steel
the
Dragon.
band was called Steel Dragon. Yeah.
Wow.
And the
Awfully close.
I believe it's the drummer. He's backstage like, so the women, something about like the guys see you, or the women are attracted to you, and the guys want to be like you, so they can get the women. So your job is to live the life. Meanwhile, he's back there and he's like, he's getting his blood changed out. It's like a dialysis machine. He's getting a full oil change so he can keep going.
Wonder if that works.
So check this out, the 43rd anniversary gift. Anniversary gift. You're not going to believe it. Iron.
It's Gardettos.
Iron?
Oh.
Iron. Gardettos would be a good one. But it's
43
it's iron.
is iron?
Or mead.
43rd, traditional 43rd gift is iron.
I can't imagine giving somebody like
Here's a chunk of iron.
a chunk of iron.
What if you
They
gave
just-
like a clothes iron? Probably catch it upside the head.
Not like an iron.
Well, it doesn't. I don't know what the properties
The metal
of iron
iron.
are, but it says iron, so you give them something iron, like.
So I can just like go down to the tracks, pick up some taconite pellets.
No, that's taconite.
Taconite is a leftover from iron smelting.
Okay, but we're not talking about iron or smelting because it could or it could not be true. The bottom line is it's iron.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
You're trying to outsmart me. And
I'm
that's
just
fine.
saying iron.
You're trying to
I can't-
outsmart me. And that's fine.
What can you do with iron? Really?
What can you do with half this shit
I know.
I've said we got?
Want to do some dad jokes?
You could smelt it.
You can smelt it.
Should we let Steve do a dad joke?
You want to do dad jokes, Steve?
Sure.
Okay, go ahead.
You didn't have a choice,
Pull a
actually.
dad joke out of there, Steve.
Can I tell you my favorite dad joke?
Absolutely.
Oh, if you have one, for sure.
Did you know that Teslas don't come with a new car smell?
No.
They come with an Elon Musk. Shout out to
Give me that. Give me that. You don't get one of those today.
why it's good.
No, that's so shitty. It's good because Elon don't like us. Elon, Disney,
Why,
He should have his own cologne. There should be an Elon.
Elon Musk,
Brilliant.
and it smells like money.
why hasn't
Elon
NASA
Musk.
sent a duck to the moon?
Why? Why?
The bill would be astronomical.
The bill would be at. You know what? I'm putting these away. Let's wrap it up, folks. Steve, thank you so much for
Yeah,
hanging out with
thanks
us.
for
This
having
was
me.
fantastic.
Yeah, it's really fun.
This was great. This was
Like great
so
time
much.
for us.
Yeah,
I don't
thank
know how many people like it, but we have a good time.
Yeah, this was really fun.
That's all we're about, man.
I've watched your show before, so it's always fun.
Overseas,
Not overseas,
because
but
we have fans in Malaysia
In
oh, crazy.
India.
and
Wow.
India. So I thought you might have caught it then.
no. Yeah,
I'm Jimmy. This is Sid. You had Feed the Dog.
that's Tim.
Our buddy,
And the band.
Our buddy Steve and the band Tim. Thank you so much.
I gotta push the button.
Push it.